Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how we sell our deals on the MLS without being a licensed agent and without ever having to buy these properties and then relist them. How we're basically wholesaling houses on the retail market without even being an agent. And I'm going to break everything down in this video, so let's jump right into it. So what we do is we run novations, but we treat novations a different way, and everybody kind of has their own way of doing novations. We do novations a completely different way. We make it very simple and very systematized. So whenever we get a deal under contract, we know exactly what the next steps are. That's exactly what I'm going to break down for you guys today. So yeah, this is the most systematized way to sell deals going into 2026 as well. And if you're not doing this, you're missing out on a lot of money, because this is how we turn $5, $10, maybe even $15,000 normal assignment fees into $25, $35, even $50,000 deals on one single transaction. So just for a little backstory, this is kind of how we run our business. We run ads on Facebook, which generates leads. Okay. All right. And then when a lead comes in, our acquisitions guy's job is to call the lead and get a contract signed. All right. Now, once we get the contract signed, it then goes to Dispo, who puts the property on the MLS. And once it's on the MLS, we can now accept retail offers. We can accept loan types of offers. So for example, if somebody comes to us with a VA loan, or if somebody comes to us with a conventional loan, we can essentially accept those types of offers. We're not just limited to cash. But the cool thing about putting properties on the MLS is you can find really high paying cash buyers on the MLS that you can't find on PropStream, Batch Leads, etc. Right? So then we accept an offer and we close. So essentially, this is kind of how we run our business in a very generic way. All right, so we systematize the front end to where sellers are coming to us, and then we also systematize the back end where buyers are coming to us. So now our main focus can solely be on getting more contracts signed and getting more deals sold. That's essentially what we're trying to do here. We're not spending all of our time cold calling 300 to 500 people per day and seeing if we can find one person who potentially wants to sell their house. And we're also not sitting here calling 300 to 500 buyers per day, seeing if anyone wants to buy the property that we have under contract. So we make this very simple to whenever a lead comes in, the acquisitions guys know exactly what to do to get the contract. And then once we get the contract signed, the Dispo reps know exactly what to do to get it sold. So let's jump into how we're actually putting these houses on the MLS without owning them. All right. So as soon as a contract gets signed in our business, we know that we have to do an intro call. All right. Now on this intro call, basically we're just figuring out, we're letting the homeowner know, pretty much what's going on, and they should be aware that this property is going up on the MLS. We do not blindside these people whatsoever. So we never get a contract signed with intent to put it on the MLS if we told them we are buying it. That's just not what we do. That's how you run into a lot of legal issues. And then on top of that, these homeowners are going to be like, why the heck is my house on the MLS when you said you were the buyer? We don't want to run into any of that. So the intro call is to basically preface again, your house is going up on the MLS. And my Dispo rep's job is to confirm the times that the homeowner will be home if they occupy the property, or the tenants. We let them know like, hey, we need 2 1-hour time slots per week that we can send some of our retail investors accompanied by agents and our partners out there to walk the property. Or you could say contractors, whatever it is, right? So that's what happens as soon as we get a contract signed. Then from there, once we get the times and things like that, we have a Dispo assistant, and the assistant's role is to fill out the MLS questionnaire. I think I spelled that right. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But basically, the questionnaire is on one of the flat fee services that we use. So I know a lot of people who do novations, they go out, they get an agent to basically list the property for them. But again, you're having to find an agent who wants to list a property, who doesn't really understand what you're doing. And all of that is just kind of not systematized to me. So what we do is we do flat fee services. Now, the flat fee service that we use that allows us to list the properties on the MLS is called bakehome.com. I don't have an affiliate with them. You can literally go to their website and they have 3 different tiers. We just choose the simplest one, which is $99 per listing. So with the 2 ways you can go with it, you can go the safe route to where you're not paying anything up front, and you just get an agent who takes a commission and lists the property for you. Or you could go the flat fee route where they're going to charge $99 to $150 up front. So this means whether you close on the property or not, you got to pay the $99 to $150 up front. Now, it may not seem like much, but when you're doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month, then it could eat into your profits depending on if your close rate isn't that good, right? So this is why it's always good to be very upfront with the homeowners, letting them know exactly what we're doing so we don't run into that issue. So we use Baycom.com. We list the property on the MLS, and the dispo assistant is in charge of filling out the MLS questionnaire to get it on the MLS. Now, the reason we're actually able to list these properties on the MLS is because in our contracts that we sign with the homeowner, we have the correct wording that allows us to list the properties on the MLS. So you can't just go get a normal purchase and sale agreement and be like, hey, sign this, and then you can put it on the MLS. That's not how it works. You have to have the right wording in place, but in this video, I'm not going to go over the wording or anything like that. So now once the MLS questionnaire is filled out, we have to get pictures, okay? So in the intro call, the other route is we have to schedule pictures. Okay, now we don't want crappy iPhone pictures, right? Your properties aren't going to sell the best if they don't have the best pictures. So we schedule pictures. We can send someone out there who's a real estate photographer, or if you know somebody that has a good camera in the area, it's not hard to find someone on Thumbtack to go out there and take pictures of a property. So now we got the pictures scheduled. We have the MLS questionnaire figured out. We have everything ready to be listed with Baycom. Now what? Okay, so from there, the property gets pushed to the MLS. All right. Now, the cool thing about this is once the property's on the MLS, they contact my dispo rep. So the flow goes from the MLS, agents see it, the agent will see the property, and then from there, my dispo rep puts her number on MLS forms. Okay. So we put the property on the MLS. The agents who search the MLS for their clients go out and see a property that maybe we have listed. And then from there, they call up my dispo rep because they put their number on all of our MLS forms. So that way they're not calling me and they're not calling the homeowner. They're calling the dispo rep directly. And the dispo's job is to now schedule times with agent and homeowner. So once the agent calls and they say, hey, I'm interested in viewing this property, my client would love it, the dispo rep will go out and call the homeowner if they occupy the property or the tenant, whatever it is. If it's vacant, we normally just put it on a lockbox and send them out there. But if somebody's occupying the property, then we call up the homeowner and schedule a time that works best for them based on their schedule. Now, you're probably thinking, well, can't the agent just like undercut the deal and try to scam you guys out of it and just sell with the homeowner directly? Absolutely not. Because we preface upfront in our agreements that this is a binding contract, and if you try to go behind our back, we can sue for non-performance or specific performance, whatever it is, right? But you don't have to tell them that so bluntly, right? I mean, you tell them in a way where they know, like, okay, these people are doing this, I'm going to comply, because they're paying for everything, right? If they go with the agent, they're going to end up having to pay all the commission. They're going to have to do the repairs. They're going to have to do whatever the agent requests. That's not what they wanted to begin with. They wanted a simple way to sell their house, and they got the number that they wanted, and our company is taking care of all of the fees for them. So getting into the fees, let's say, the agent schedules a time, they love the home, they want to buy it, they put in an offer, okay? All right, I'm just going to use easy numbers here. Let's say our A to B price, and this is our price with the homeowner. Let's say our A to B price is $100,000, okay? And let's say the offer that they put in, which is what we call B to C, is $150,000, okay? Just simple numbers here. Well, right off the top, we typically pay all of our agents about 2% on the listing price. So they would get 2%. So we'd minus 2% of the 150, which gives us $3,000. So we'd be left with $147,000 remaining. Okay. Now, on top of that, we also have to pay the seller's closing cost. So we have to pay the homeowner's closing cost and things like that. For this example, we're just going to call it, let's call it $3,000. All right, so now we're left with $144,000 remaining. Okay, and at closing, we owe the seller $100,000 because that is our original contract price. So on closing day, we will be walking with $44,000 after doing the process this way. Now, the reason we're able to do this is because we're listing the properties on the MLS and we're able to get max exposure on these properties. So for an example like this, you might blast it out to a cash buyers list. You may or may not find people that are interested, but if somebody is interested, they might only be willing to pay $110,000, $115,000. And you're probably thinking, okay, that's great. I can make 10, 15 grand. But what if you could literally learn this process and you could make $44,000 instead of $15,000? Like, how much more money would you be able to put into marketing if you were able to make $44,000 versus $10,000? You'd be able to do a lot more within your business. This is why we started implementing this process. And also, I can't stress enough how systematized everything is. Typically, everybody loves to do the outbound call flow where you're calling buyers, you're grinding, you feel like you're doing hard work, but you can make it 10 times more efficient if you have people coming to you who want to sell and you have buyers coming to you who want to buy. It makes it so much easier. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this is the easiest thing ever because there are problems that pop up. And that's why it's important to have a mentor. So if you guys got any sort of value from this and want to learn more on how you can go out and do your first novation deal and put your first deal up on the MLS, I put a link below to book a free one-on-one call with me where we can go over your business and I can see how I can help you implement this process into your business exactly. But with all that being said, make sure to like and comment on this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.